Strangers from distant lands, friends of old, you've been summoned here to answer the threat of Mordor.
What are we waiting for? It is a gift.
I realized recently that although I personally like to try a variety of games, I haven't really done a video on anything that's kiddish or cozy. And after reminiscing with my friends about how awesome the Lord of the Rings movies were, I just had to get that fix in. So this is my retrospective review of LEGO The Lord of the Rings. Now, this is my first playthrough, and although I've always enjoyed the LEGO games I did play, I never had a chance to play through this one. I honestly felt like I was in a bit of a rut recently, especially with the recent drama around my GPU, but man, loading into this game, and that intro cutscene with the music playing really just hit the spot and got me super excited to play through this one. Okay, so starting off with the graphics, it's very much your typical LEGO title, so it will have some really bright colors, really well animated characters, and of course that signature LEGO look. I would not say it's anything spectacular, especially since this game is now about 12 years old, though credit where it's due, this game in my opinion still definitely holds up, but I guess that's what happens when the unique art and style of the game is well done. There were some random graphical or gameplay glitches that came up throughout my own playthrough, but nothing really too bad. I should note though that on more modern PCs, you may need to cap the frame limit as it can cause issues. Now, with the art style, that unique LEGO aesthetic is just so uniquely done that you instantly know what you're looking at. It's actually pretty surprising considering the differences between the Lord of the Rings look and the LEGO style, and yet in this game they've blended them together so well. What impresses me most, I think, is the level of detail they've put in considering how little space they had to work with on each of the character models. And I don't mean that they're LEGO so they're naturally little, but I mean the character model sizes relative to the rest of the world, especially the hobbits. Which means that it's going to be hard to really notice the differences and intricacies of each of them, and yet they've done such a good job that you can tell pretty easily who is who.
I have to leave the Shire. Sam and I must get debris.
Buckleberry Ferry. Follow me.
Now, the music. There's probably honestly not too much to say here, especially in terms of voice and soundtrack. That epic original score by Howard Shore is very apparent, and the voice work has been pulled straight from the film, so it's as authentic as you can get.
The blade glows blue when orcs are close.
There are little voice effects spread throughout though, which are obviously dubbed by new actors, which makes sense considering it's just not practical or probably within the budget, which is fine. I will say the timing of both the voice and musical score though has been pretty expertly put together and really helps to elevate the whole experience.
A just question, my liege.
Be silent!
It really is great assuming you're a fan of the original films like I am. You'll love basking in every one of the key moments that come up. Like, it's not only a great nostalgia trip, but such a powerful and emotive soundtrack.
You want to know what happened to Boromir? The ring drove your brother mad!
Now, moving on though, there is something to be said about the sound design. Being a LEGO game, the vast majority of the actions and gameplay sounds are built around the LEGO IP, so naturally all of them have this cute and clicky, almost childlike sound. The clinking noise that pops up when you collect the shiny coins or the crashing down of structures when you're breaking them apart is all so enjoyable and nice to hear. Also, it might just be me, but I get a real satisfaction when I hear the bricks clicking together as I build my way past obstacles throughout the various levels. It kind of reminds me of the tactile thock from a mechanical keyboard, but smaller and cuter, like the Hobbits.
We're coming too!
9 companions. You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Now, moving on to story. The entire original trilogy has been included, but it's definitely a much more compacted yet streamlined experience. I did end up putting about 15 to 16 hours into this game, and considering it is all 3 movies combined into one nice little package, it does give you plenty of gameplay and time with the world. Like, there is actually a heap of content in this game, considering I mainly just did the story with virtually no side quests and barely any collectibles, and I ended up at about 33% complete, which is honestly pretty impressive. I mean, personally, I couldn't be bothered doing all the side stuff, but I think if you're that way inclined, you'll have a great time going through everything here. I did also want to mention that though the original trilogy is mostly pretty PG, there are some much more mature themes throughout the story, and considering this is a kids game, the handling of those moments was always going to be important. After playing through the entire game though, I think it's safe to say they've been handled very well, and though some of the more serious moments are present, they've been tweaked to make it a lot more palatable for younger audiences. By that same token though, some of the more epic scenes have made the cut, and though little quirky jokes and humour is spread throughout, it does retain much of its original grandeur. And I think this shows how much love, respect and understanding the development team had for the original source material, and this is one licensed game that I think has been done right.
Victory! We have victory!
Alright, when it comes to the actual core gameplay loop, it is very much your classic LEGO experience. You go through exploring the world, breaking things and collecting the studs or coins, which thereby allow you to purchase or recruit new characters. But the game does have its own unique LEGO approach to puzzles. It's pretty standard now, but each character has a unique ability, like using Gimli's axe to break boulders or Sam's ability to dig, though all characters can do a standard attack against enemies or break brick buildings. Most sections will also require you to find or break things so that you can build LEGO structures that serve as a sort of puzzle, and usually allows you to get past obstacles, all of which are pretty cleverly done. Each of the levels you clear through during the story are also replayable, which, when replayed using different characters, can give you further things to unlock, especially when you use characters that weren't used in that section originally. This naturally asks for creative thinking from the player, which is great for younger audiences whilst also offering replayability. It's actually something I really appreciate, because most modern games nowadays don't really offer that challenge anymore. Like, I can't imagine it's as much work as creating a whole new level, so it feels like an oversight to me that it's so rare today. LEGO Lord of the Rings even has a true adventurer score at the end of each level, which measures how many studs you end up with, and kinda acts like a high score for you to compare. And speaking of replayability, there is a huge amount of it in this game, especially if you're the completionist type gamer that wants to collect absolutely everything. There's an immense amount to unlock here, including not only a heap of different characters, but duplicate variations of each. Like, I think there's around 80 odd characters including different versions, which sounds like an absolute mission to fully unlock for me, but if you're into that sort of thing, this game definitely has it. Now, I'm primarily a single player story guy, so I've never been that fussed about games with couch co-op, but I do remember having a really good time when I did try it in the past. Like, it's not really my thing, but I know there's an audience for it, and it's a damn shame that local co-op is so much less of a thing nowadays. I mean, there are of course games that still try to incorporate it, but it's a far cry from its heyday. And this game is actually really suited to it. Like, when you need to get something built, but there are constantly respawning enemies that pop up attacking you, it just helps to have someone there to watch your back, which is actually a great way to teach younger kids teamwork and strategy. I know it's a minor thing, but the game's just great at a fundamental level. Steam does have an option to invite friends to join, and I don't think your friends even need to own the game, but I don't have any friends, so I never tried it out. And this does feel like a nice chill game where you could knock out an hour every night in front of a TV with a partner or family member, so a console version might actually suit better.
Let the Lord of the Black Land come forth!
Look, in closing, I feel like this is actually the perfect way for older fans of Tolkien to share their love with their kids or younger siblings who may not know or be familiar with the property. It's one of those games I think that can spark an interest in not only the LEGO and Lord of the Rings IPs, but a great gateway into gaming. It may not have the nicest graphics or the most in-depth gameplay, but it is a classic LEGO style kid-friendly experience, and I had a lot of fun with it. LEGO The Lord of the Rings is absolutely still worth playing today.
What about second breakfast?
If you've managed to sit through this whole video, thank you so much for watching. I'm still looking to upload a brand new video once a fortnight, but be sure to let me know what else you'd like to see in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one.